I do want to move to New York. I want to move to New York in August, and that feels really impossible right now, financially and everything. I have leads on jobs and people I could stay with, or people who know people I could stay with. I spend a lot of my free time looking at apartments, really cheap apartments, small, whether it's studios or several bedrooms. I shop like a New Yorker. I only buy enough groceries that I can carry, as if I had to carry them on a subway. I've unsubscribed to a lot of things so I can save as much money as I possibly can. I have analyzed the shit out of this thing where I think about, oh, well, I have all my friends in all the different states. Got people out in Denver and Tennessee and South Carolina and North Carolina and Pennsylvania, and 3 people getting married this year, and all these things where it's just like, it's not like I got a lot of people holding me back to Georgia right now. Family is going to be in Tennessee like this time next month. So like, it's kind of like, why not? Why not try to go? And there is fear in not being sure if it's going to work out. I think I'll always have that fear, because when you want something so bad and you feel like you have a really small window to make it work, or you're afraid that if it doesn't work out that first time you try, it's not going to work out at all. That's hard. And having to accept the fact that even though I am speaking this into existence and trying to make it work, it may not. But I also have enough people who believe in me with wanting to move there, who can see me being there. I remember talking to one of my friends over Christmas break, and I told him about it. I think he was the 3rd person to know that I wanted to move there. And I was like, I'm just waiting for you to tell me that this isn't in the Lord's will, or like, you're just going to be like, I just don't see you there. So it was just kind of like, okay, just waiting for you to confirm in me that there's no way this can work. And he looked at me and he was like, all right, you ready for me to tell you what I think? Because it's not that at all. And he said, you light up when you talk about being there, and from how you're thinking about it and how you're living right now, as well as, the connections with people, or lack of connections with people in Georgia, it makes sense. And he's like, and maybe you won't be a long-termer, but for right now, that's where you need to be. And it's funny that I talk about New York so much, and I think because she gives me a lot of comfort in life when things get hard. And the last few days have been really hard, I'm not going to lie to you, which was another reason why I kind of jumped off Instagram for a bit. I was recognizing I was sitting on social media as a coping mechanism, and I don't like that about myself. That's something I've fought for the last 3 years, to not use social media as a crutch. It's like, this will be used as a positive influencing app only for me to spread light to people. And of course, you want to be honest about where you're at, but sometimes you have to take a break. Like Brene Brown says, being vulnerable doesn't mean talking about something that you're currently processing through. She's like, one of my rules is to not write anything out for the public until I've processed through this thing and have come to my own conclusion, and I'm not just reaching out to the world to give me some form of empty advice. I have my few people that I talk to. I have my parents. I have my journal. I have my time with the Lord that only me and the Lord know about, where I sit alone in my room and I process and I read and I talk to him and I explain to him, this is how I'm feeling right now, and I feel really shitty right now, and I feel really confused and angry and betrayed, and it's really hard for me to sit in this moment and accept that this is what I'm feeling right now and not try to push these feelings down. I think we do that a lot. And I am saying we because I know that I'm not alone in this, and saying it so that you know that you're not alone in this too. That we face things that are really hard and also very normal human life things that we're just going to face and have to accept we're going to face if we want to know that we're alive. And if we don't allow ourselves to feel them, we're going to repress those emotions so much that once the good things come back, we won't be able to experience those because we're going to be so afraid of losing them again. I feel like I'm on my soapbox right now, but I feel extremely led to be speaking that out because I know that we're walking through a lot of discouragement and a lot of hopes dashed, and feeling like that we're either the only ones going through this or that everyone else's lives are working out and ours are still stuck. It's like you're watching everyone run a race in front of you and you're still stuck at the starting line. And that's how the beginning of 2019 has felt. It is the 23rd of January, and I still feel like I haven't started running the race yet. It feels like I've just kind of tripped into the year. And I know that the start of the race doesn't define you, so that's for whoever needed to hear that. The start of your race doesn't define you. You just pick up and you keep running, even if you're stumbling. That was a lot of word vomit, and I do not even know if I've finished all of my statements. I just went one thing into another. So all I want to say is keep speaking. Don't go silent because you're feeling all of these things, or discouragement, or worry, or anxiety. Anxiety does not get to win this, okay? You've been through a lot of hard years in the past, and I know that you feel the anxiety welling back up in you, the uncertainty of what's going to happen in the future, of not being sure where you'll live, or who you'll date, or who you'll marry, or what school you'll go to, or what school you'll go to after you graduate, or what job you'll have. Fill in the blank. We're in this together. You're not running this race alone. That's really important to know, because it's very different when you run with people versus when you run by yourself. So keep those people surrounding you. You're not going back to a dark place. You are running a brand new race, and this is new territory. And that's why it's a little bumpy and confusing and scary, because you haven't experienced this before. So you're making new stories. Think of it that way. So that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching. I don't know how long this video was, but thank you so much for listening in for a little bit, and I'll talk to you soon.